Hi guys, we are back. See that pretty hair, and that's part of why I say follow waiting you they attracted to. And we want to go a bit further in from the topic of last week, because I think we found out that a lot of people did not watch the video to the end before they made their conclusions. And also we want to highlight the point we made at the end, which two points. First is the question is what is making up the topic of today. That okay, I'm saying take attraction seriously before you get married, make it part of your non-negotiables, like I said. And so now what if you get married and that attraction, the thing now changes, for example,
the person changes,
for example, you love someone that is plus size, and when you get married, say they get slimmer, or you love someone that is slim, when you get married after they give birth, they now increase. We addressed it in the video anyways, but people didn't want to watch it to the end, and we want to like dig deeper today. Let me start with you. What do you have to say about that?
So the thing about life is like, the only constant thing that is real, like, that happens in life is change. So I said it in the video as well, that there is a maturity that comes with an understanding that you're not going to be this way forever. Like, you're going to change, and there'll be parts of you that, and vice versa. The things that attracted me to you in the beginning, they will change, or they will look slightly different. But because the love is deeper than just like the surface level, and by just like how you're looking, I decide to love you. And I think even with marriage generally, like, this not just about the outward appearance but the inward things, right? You have to decide to love the person, because they're going to be things that you're just going to think, oh my gosh, really? But it's a daily decision. But there was something that someone put, like, there was a comment that someone raised. They commented on the fact that their partner had changed, and the partner was not willing, did not really care about how they felt. And I have to really say that that's very unfortunate, because people don't understand that, when we get married, when we say our vows, in you deciding to love me, and in you choosing to love me daily, you hear my voice and you listen to what I have to say. Like, it's not absurd for me to request for you to, if you've got a pot belly, babe, let me cut back on this. Let's take it easy. Let's do more exercise or whatever. And vice versa, if you feel like, maybe I'm putting a bit of weight or whatever, for whatever reason, and you encourage in a very kind manner, you bring that up to my attention, and you're like, I'm just thinking that maybe would you want to, would you consider like kind of working on your weight or that kind of stuff? Like, these are things that affect me, and I feel like, one, if your partner voices that, that's a big deal. It's a big deal in a way that they trust you enough to that's enough. They have to be vulnerable to you, and they don't know how you're going to receive it. That it's a big deal, but at the end of the day, they've brought it to your attention. Don't ignore them. I think it's really wrong. I think it's unfair, and I think as well, because one of the general jokes is that, oh, you always tell your wife that she looks good even when she doesn't. Like you always tell her that, oh, you look skinny, darling, even though she doesn't. Like, all these things that are not helpful, all these things that are not beneficial to them, we are told to do. So essentially, you're telling them to lie. And who does it help? It doesn't help you, because you're not happy that they are not changing, and it doesn't help them because they don't know that you're unhappy. So therefore, why can't we just be honest in a loving manner, and and decide to be our best selves for the other person?
That makes sense. Let me start from that end part that I started from. Humorously, wise men, we can not always be honest, but it's not in for example, that's not what but humorously, but so I fully agree with everything you said, and I'm going to buttress it. But let me start by what I'd spoken about the last time. Let me just touch on it again, that when I said for guys, speaking for guys, looks should be part of the non-negotiables. I think maybe I would rephrase that and make it maybe slightly negotiable, but it should never go to it shouldn't matter. You know, the what they tell us, especially what, you know, our parents' generations tell us about marriage, is the fact that when you get everything else, like she's well behaved, like looks is not really important. And I don't know about for ladies, but I think for guys it's really, really, really important. Now, to the question, and I'm going somewhere. So to the question of what if the looks change when you get into marriage, I think it's the same thing with every other thing. Everything that are your non-negotiables. If you get into marriage, when they change, are you supposed to come out of the marriage?
You're gonna be like, it's non-negotiable. I'm over this. But you say that, but people are doing that.
No. Let me finish my thought. Are you supposed to come out of the marriage? As far as I'm concerned, you know, what we believe about marriage is it's only when it's life-threatening, you know, and that is why you need to make the best decision before you go into it. You know, the way I see it in terms of this physical is the fact that, except, you know, so God is ultimate. Do you understand? If God tells you to go and marry somebody that is off your taste and everything, he knows why he's saying so. In the book of, I can't remember, is it Hosea? There's a prophet that God told to go and marry a harlot. And he married the harlot. The harlot still went to cheat on him. God told him to take it back. God knows what he wants to do, you know, but like when it is your decision to make and everything, you make sure you make decisions according to everything that is supposed to work for you, because it's supposed to be, you know, your lifelong decision. After you have made that decision, you know, now you've entered the marriage. You are making the decision because, okay, you are trying to make it in such a way that at least all these things will work for me. So you have the ball in your court before you get married to make those decisions. Once you are married, then you have entered it. Do you understand? So as far as I'm concerned, the same thing of, okay, if looks changes, it's the same thing of, what if he was pretending? Do you understand? Okay, you say you want a guy that is very romantic and everything. What if he gets into marriage, he's pretending and all that? You've entered.
You're already there.
Do you understand? You've entered. Now, this is not to justify pretense or whatever, but it's to just make the point clear that it's a no-brainer that I married, say I like the figure 8, I married you as a figure 8 and you've given birth to children for me. The figure has now changed. You gave me yourself as I liked you, and now we have started doing things together. And as a result of what you have given to me in terms of babies, your body has changed. I will accept you like that. And again, marriage is not for babies. Marriage is for matured adults, like what my wife said. So, and part of maturity is for you to know that once you enter marriage, it's not about feelings again. Feelings is what carries you during when you guys are dating. And once you enter, that entering of marriage is even a decision for you to, it says a man would choose, you know, a man would choose to leave his mother, his father. Part of those is mother and father. Leave his girlfriends, his everything, his options, and cleave to one woman. Is a decision. Do you understand? So that decision is, you know, it's like you are choosing your odds. You are choosing the best odds that will work for you. And that is why I said that you should not downplay physicals before marriage. Once you enter marriage, you know, so whatever comes with it, you choose to love it and everything. And somebody made a comment that also makes sense to me, in the sense that I marry you, what I'm attracted to and everything. We start building our lives together. As I'm building my life with you and everything, things are growing, you know, deeper and all that and everything, you know. So it gets to a point where that physical is not, it doesn't, do you understand what I'm saying?
It's just a byproduct of what you know. Like it's just a plus to what you love about it.
So the answer to that is, in fact, is by chance, is by luck, is by blessings that what you married is what you will still end up with. Do you understand? Is even my wife, like, I thank God that, you know, she's growing more beautiful, but that could also be that maybe God is tuning my eyes to you know, behold that beautiful and all that and everything. Do you understand? You know, because like we said, when we looked back at the picture of when she was pregnant, I didn't believe that was the woman I was in the house with. You know, when I looked at the picture, she was swollen and everything, but I didn't see that swollen.
Can I just add to that as well? That, you know, that there's a prayer that I learned, you know, in PwC. Someone had prayed it, and that's kind of stuck with me. It's that I will always desire my husband, and that he will always desire me. You know, it's something that it's not just about like desiring all of me, like, and it's a continuous thing. We have to wait. You know, like you said, feelings can lie. Our feelings, they're so fickle. Yeah. 1 minute we are happy, the next minute we're sad. or it's just a feeling. So if we base our marriage on our decision to love somebody based on a feeling, it will never last. It couldn't last.
Because in terms of feeling, do you know how many times I've been mad at her and she's been mad at me and everything, but we still choose to go ahead with that, But so back to my point, you get married to someone and their physique change. You are already in it and everything, so you make up your mind that this is not the way this person came, like I said earlier, and all that, So it's through thick and thin, and that can be literal. Through thin and thick. Do you understand?
Pretty much.
But the only thing is, because it's possible also that the physique change to a place that there's nothing that the person can do about it. It can't be corrected. But the reaction of the other person matters, like my wife says. Say this pot belly where they get, God help me, like my wife keeps saying, oh, you're having a pot belly and everything. And I just laid back. I'm like, you should at least put an effort. Do you understand? So you were a plus size. So because I don't always want to come from slim, because now slim I like. And see, I'm sorry, before I make this my point. So why I kept on saying that, do not downplay the physical, is the fact that you would be doing yourself disservice and another person disservice. So imagine that what you're attracted to is slim, but because this person has every other thing that you want and they don't have this slim, and you just like, you should go ahead with it. You now get married. As a man, I'm telling you that there's still going to be that part in your heart, and it might be you won't love the person the way you are supposed to love. Meanwhile, there's somebody out there that loves them, that loves plus size.
Yeah.
Because Bible says everything God created is beautiful. God is good. Everything God creates is beautiful. And the way this now applies is the fact that because it's only God that all of us together will agree that God is good and God is... There's no one human being that everybody will look at and everybody will say this person... Even Beyonce, person will see Beyonce say, see her nose. Do you understand? So the way I'm saying my wife is the most beautiful wife in the world, some people will... When we even got married, when I was posting it, some comments even from fellow women that, oh, where's the bonbon? There are people that will look at her and be like, no, not even necessarily haters. They do not even find you attractive, and which is the fact that you are not their spec. That's why they say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So imagine that somebody that does not find you attractive, but because you have a lot of other things, now goes ahead to marry you. They now deprive me. That I will find you attractive. They deprive me of you in the market.
Imagine.
Meanwhile, I know what I'm saying. No, there's one thing I always tell my wife, that I thank God that I didn't have to settle before I met her. Because if I had settled with anybody else and I see my wife, I would have that burning regret in me. No matter what my decision is, even if I decide to, be irresponsible, it will be burning in me for the rest of my life. Now, this is not a discredit to anybody that I've dated before. The same thing applies to all of us, because some people that I dated and, things went ugly and, they are having good, enjoying relationship with their husband now. That means that we were not supposed to be together. Imagine if we had forced it. So this thing applies with the physical, and that's the point I'm trying to make. So it's not saying that physical is the most important thing and you should carry it, but do not downplay it. Especially me, I'm speaking to men. I don't, I've heard that women, you guys can choose, you can grow in love, but as a man, we are moved by sight. And see, we're still going to talk about side chicks. We're coming, we have a whole topic about that, but a lot of this is not justifying it, but a lot of things, a lot of what ends up in men, cheating and everything, some of these things are rooted also in these things. That, oh, the man, you even hear some things, you hear the way some guys talk like, oh, na good girl I marry, but my spec, my side chick, she go, they give me everything what I want, but at least this one will give me peace of mind. What does, do you understand?
This is insane.
So you can get peace of mind, and you can get peace of mind in the body that you are attracted to. Do you understand? So don't settle. Not because this person that is not your spec, not because the person is less, but just because this person, there's somebody else that will appreciate this person better. So do not let us do square peg in a round hole. Do you understand? But that is not to say that the choice you have now gone with in terms of your spec. That's not to say that that is how they will look forever. But once you have entered the marriage, the conversation has changed. There's nothing that is negotiable again. I mean, what do I do? There's nothing that you can change again in marriage. The only thing in marriage now is that God, you go to follow, negotiate, you go to follow talk. Except when it comes to a case of life and death, which we are not married professionals. You know, when it comes to something that is threatening you, then it's a deeper conversation. But the way we see marriage, flee. Yeah. But the way we see marriage, when there's no life threat or any of those things, is for better, for worse. That's why you need to take your time and make the best decision. You know,
don't allow anyone rush you. Like, don't. And I don't know where this thing, especially for women, it's this whole thing of, oh, you're going to be 30. Once you're 30, it's like you're so old, you're over the hill. It's a lie of the enemy. Like, I think about the women in the Bible, so many of them, when they got married, they were not even as... Yes, I know that back in the day, people got married younger, but a lot of women in the Bible, they got married later. Like, so I need people to understand that there really is... If you have to rush it, you're gonna want to rush out of it. It's never worth it. So you, like you said, my husband said that you have to really, really know that without a shadow of a doubt. This is what I always liken when I knew that my husband was my husband, was I felt the peace I felt when I got saved. It was the same thing. I felt that peace. And I feel like that's the kind of level of peace you should have. Because I gave my life to Jesus, I felt peace. I'm sharing my life with another, I should feel that same peace. So that's it.
And attraction is a main thing in marriage. Attraction, because all these so I'm not saying it's wrong or whatever, but all this saying that don't worry, the attraction will grow with time. These are the things that put a lot of people in misery. Or attraction is very important. That thing that
you want to be proud of your partner. You want to feel like, yes, I'm happy that I'm holding hands with this person as I walk down the street, or there's a joy that you feel when you're attracted to the person.
And you don't want to deprive, because so if you are not proud of your partner, does not mean there's anything wrong with that partner. But you have just deprived that partner of somebody that's going to be proud of them. Yeah. Because remember, everyone God creates is beautiful, but beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. God has given us preference. Okay, not be me put this thing inside myself. The spec, the way I say I like my woman to be, not be me put them inside myself. So except otherwise instructed by God, which should be the author and finisher. According to what I said again at the end of that video, that now a lot of things that are even good for me, that are in this my wife, that were not even part of what I was looking for, or I never knew, but God knew, and God led me here. That God is the ultimate in terms of what He knows about who is good for you in terms of marriage and everything. So don't downplay God's part and everything. God is the ultimate. But as far as, because God can put the ball in your court and be like, okay, make your decision and everything. So except He gives you an implicit order that, okay, this is your wife, or this is the person you should follow. When it comes to your making decisions, do not downplay physical. Do not downplay. I'm not saying bring physical up and
don't downplay it.
Do not downplay physical. Yeah. So that's what we are saying. Yes, it can change when you get into marriage and all that, but you've got into marriage, you make your decision as you are going that, okay, yeah, I've stuck with you and you guys will work it out however it's going to work for you, So next video, we are going to talk about why we are doing this, why we decide to, be a couple on YouTube, why we decide to talk about our love life and all that, because there was also this comment of this person that I believe he was made in love, because at this stage, whatever comment we see and perceive that, oh, this is hatred or whatever, we just block and we don't give it time. But there's this person, I will show you the comment, that the person was like, oh, she has been watching me, I've been posting, making like, oh, this things I'm posting about my wife is private, is sinful, I'm a minister of God, all this,
Okay,
so you saw that comment. So we are going to address, because that's another conversation, but trust me, I believe that what we are doing is part of the will of God for our lives, because we are getting a lot of testimony. Because yes, she was saying, oh, I'm not in the will of God or something like that, you know. So we're going to talk about that next. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Amen.